welcome to our new podcast. It's called The Dark and the Strange. I'm Paul, and this is...
Hey, I'm Tara.
And we are just about to start our first podcast. So we're going to be talking about the dark and the strange. What is the dark and the strange? Well, the dark and the strange is topics each week that are obviously dark and strange. So a bit weird to say the least, but that's us. So this week, anyway, we're going to be talking about a subject that's quite, let's say, dear to both myself and Tara, and that is the Devil's Rocking Chair. So Tara's going to talk a lot more in depth about the Devil's Rocking Chair, all about it, what it was, where it originated from, where it is now currently, and so on and so forth. So each week we will be discussing different, let's say, articles and all different types of strange and wonderful things, if that makes sense. It doesn't to me, but that's fine. But if you get the gist of it, that's basically what we're all about. So bear with us. We'll see how we go. And as usual, we'll probably try to wing this. So I'll hand you over to Tara, and she's going to talk about the Devil's Rocking Chair.
Welcome to our podcast, The Dark and the Strange. It's a really... Well, I think it's a great topic to start on the Devil's Rocking Chair, because it is the story about essentially how Paul and I met, which is through our workplace. And to give you a little bit of context, a few years ago now, I went to Vegas and I attended the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum. And if you're not familiar with that, because obviously Vegas is well known for its alcoholic beverages and gambling, if you're looking for something a little bit off the beaten track and something that's a little bit different to your regular tourist attractions, definitely go and head out to the Haunted Museum. Zach is a well-known paranormal investigator and ghost hunter. He has his own TV series. He's been in a couple of movies. He's done quite a lot of extensive research, and I believe it's all on the Discovery Channel now over in the States. But it is quite fascinating to watch, and over his years doing this, his passion has also been collecting certain artifacts, certain historical things that have happened, and not necessarily to do with horror per se, but to do with the history of that particular object. And to give you a couple of examples of some of the really fascinating things he has collected in his museum, he's got, Sharon Tate's wedding dress from the Charles Manson murders. He has Brandon Lee's trench coat jacket that he was killed in during the filming of The Crow. He has Michael Jackson's doctor's chair that used to sit in next to Michael Jackson before he passed away. So he's got quite a large collection of things, a lot of true crime, a lot of serial killer memorabilia, paintings. It's really quite fascinating. And some of the things he has collected over these years do have such an interesting backstory, or have been part of quite an interesting story. And one of those is most certainly the Devil's Rocking Chair. And you can notice that, probably more so for myself than maybe some other people, that it has that kind of feeling about it when you do walk into the room, and it has the exhibit based around that chair. And I was explaining to my work colleague about my visit to the museum and some of the more fascinating things that I saw there. And, while I was conducting this conversation with my colleague, Paul decided to pop in, and I hadn't actually spoken to him really at all in a professional capacity even. And then just jumps in out of nowhere to be like, oh, is that the museum that has the Devil's Rocking Chair out of the Conjuring 3 movie? And I was just like so taken aback that someone would even know that information.
Yeah, it's very restricted.
Yeah, it is like a slightly niche topic. But it did create that light bulb moment where you were just like, wow, like someone else has such a passion or interest in those things like myself. And I was just like, dumbfounded, like, oh my God, yes. Like, like someone had struck me in the face with a brick, like, oh my God, yes. Like The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Yes, the rocking chair is out of that film. And, he sort of went on to ask a couple of questions about it and, how it felt like going in the room. And it does. It has that really heavy feeling walking into the room. So the backstory about the Devil's Rocking Chair is, if you haven't watched the Conjuring 3 movie, it is about a family who moves into a house, and the chair doesn't have a huge center point in the movie, but it is quite integral to the backstory of how their son David Glatzel became possessed, essentially, because really the original story, or what Ed and Lorraine Warren believed, is that the chair actually held this demonic entity. And David Glatzel, who had moved into the house and was quite a young boy, sat in this chair quite a few times. It was in his room, and then he ended up becoming essentially possessed. So that's the story. And he, over time, his behavior got more disturbing. He became, had a lot of like noises, growling, and was seeing things, and, speaking in different, like, not gibberish words, I guess. And then from there, the parents obviously got concerned, as you would, with your kid. I mean, he's not a teenager yet, so he shouldn't be doing those things, right? But they eventually went to the church, and the church recommended Ed and Lorraine Warren to come around and actually have a look. Yes, Paul?
I was just pointing to the picture of Ed and Lorraine.
Oh, I thought you were like, I have a question. I was like, how do we actually do this without jumping over each other? Maybe that could just...
I'm sorry, but we're not in school.
Sometimes it definitely feels like I'm in trouble.
What would ever give you that impression? Seriously? Keep going. So essentially Ed and Lorraine Warren popped over to the house, and, and if you're not familiar with Ed and Lorraine Warren, because I feel like I now have to explain every little piece, Ed and Lorraine Warren are quite famous couple in the States based in Connecticut who were a team. Ed was a demonologist who was ordained to essentially do exorcisms through the Catholic Church, and Lorraine was a medium. Or a clairvoyant. So the two of them together, were quite a dynamic duo. And like old-fashioned Ghostbusters. Like, yeah, except the backpacks.
And they didn't have as cool a car, obviously.
Yeah. It's still pretty cool.
Yes. So they would go around and obviously investigate these occurrences. And when they met the Glatzel family, they immediately identified that, David was possessed and that they were going to have to, perform an exorcism. And this exorcism went on a few times. So they were trying to obviously, rid David of this demon. And what ended up happening was that on the third round, David's eventual brother-in-law was so, anguished about the fact that David was still also afflicted by this, demonic possession, that he essentially begged the demon to leave David alone and to take him instead, which is apparently what happened. So, and his name was Arnie Johnson, and he then apparently also then became possessed, because at some point after this particular occurrence, he went on to kill his landlord.
No way. Seriously?
Right?
And why did you do that?
I mean, I have no idea. Everyone loves their landlords, right? Like, why would you have such an issue with anyone in real estate?
Absolutely. Anyway.
So then he murdered his landlord, and then became known as the first ever case to try and use the defense of demonic possession and the devil made me do it, and was trying to go into this not guilty plea due to that. I mean, thankfully that didn't fly, and the court system was like, no, sorry, we can't have that as a defense because, well, for obvious reasons, that would not have been a precedent that would have gone down well. So they ended up flopping over and deciding that they would just go for manslaughter, which he did get convicted of, and I really should have, between, the last time we talked about this, I really can't remember how many years he got, but not very long. I feel like
whatever you get for manslaughter.
Yeah, it was like 6 to 10 years. He ended up marrying David's sister, Debbie, and, was eventually released from prison, and that was essentially the story. And that's where the Devil's Rocking Chair eventually came from. Until then, Zach purchased it back in 2019 for his museum for the nice sum of $67,000.
Yeah, that's a fair bit of money, hey, for a chair.
For a really ugly rocking chair, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. I certainly wouldn't be paying $67,000 for a rocking chair, but look, whatever you're into, Each to their own.
I mean, you're probably not a rocking chair, but I mean, look, it's definitely an integral part of, I guess the paranormal and demonic history. And it didn't actually, I was surprised too that it didn't end up going into Ed and Lorraine's their own occult museum, which they had in Connecticut before they passed away, because that's obviously the occult museum that housed a lot of very interesting, dangerous artifacts like the Annabelle doll.
Oh, no, the Annabelle doll. Oh. The one at the end of your bed, or was that the one that was in?
That is a pillow, and it's not at the end of my bed, okay? It sleeps next to me.
Yeah.
And
that explains a lot.
It's very comforting.
That explains a lot, but it's all good.
Well, we've already established that I'm weird, so we're just, fitting in with that, And
I'm sure anybody that knows you would obviously agree.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
So I wish that I had made it over to Connecticut before they ended up shutting down that occult museum, because some of the stuff they had there was quite fascinating. But it's funny, we talk about the Annabelle doll, and obviously for anyone again who watches horror movies, you've got the whole movies of Annabelle. There's 3 of them now.
Yeah.
And it's in the museum that I went to for Zach Baggins. They had their own haunted doll that I wasn't actually familiar with, which was Peggy. Are you familiar with that one?
No. What did that look like?
It just looks like it was one of those ones where it had it had a face.
Okay, that's very descriptive, Tara. Could you give us any more?
So it was
height, weight,
well, it wasn't a fabric doll. It had
color,
it had
anything.
Had a plastic head, and then I think it was a soft body kind of thing, and but a baby one, a baby doll, and I think it had little blonde sort of curly hair. Anyway, its name was Peggy, and it's weird because the guide is sort of walking you through explaining what some of the things are, and they're just like, oh, this is Peggy, and you should really say hello to her, because that people find if you're rude to her, then something might happen to you afterwards.
The picture that I'm getting in my head of Peggy is, did you see Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
With the baby?
Yeah.
That's what Peggy looks like to me, yeah. Is that Peggy?
Pretty much.
Sweet. So if you want to see this doll, watch Toy Story 3.
I don't know.
Which kids watch?
Yeah, which is why I'm so surprised that that's your reference you went with.
Well, based on your very descriptive image of the doll, that was the only reference that I could go with. But anyway, it's all fine.
I'm pretty sure the eye is even the same. It just has that one droopy eye that doesn't work properly.
Well, thankfully, you're not a police officer. But anyway.
Yeah. Can you do a sketch of this? No.
No. Well, I can tell you what it looks like, but that's not really what it looks like.
It had a face.
Yeah. And it was plastic. And it had one eye. Yeah, nice one.
But it's funny because obviously they amp this up quite a lot, and they're like, "Oh, this is the doll, the really famous doll, and you've got to talk to it."
Yeah.
And there goes my husband, like, "Hello, Peggy," and I'm just like, "This is stupid."
Yeah, well, people have different opinions on different things. And I mean, from your perspective, you could have found it stupid. Somebody else could have found it
Terrifying.
entertaining. Yeah, absolutely. So each their own, I guess.
Yeah, well, it definitely, the museum definitely has its bits and pieces that terrify different people, because we did have this one room that was completely full of animatronic clowns, and clowns don't bother me in the slightest. But, my partner, on the other hand, was just having a small panic attack about having to go into this room, and almost like rushed through it, was just like, this is absolutely terrifying. And the guide's like, can you guys just wait at the end of the hall for us, because we're going to move on to the next area. And right at the end of the hall, there was just this one clown, and you really couldn't tell if it was like a real person or it was a mannequin. And my partner just looks at me and he was like, get effed. I'm not, you can go down there. I'm not going anywhere near that thing. So I had to ball up and just be like, it's fine. It's just a clown. It was just a mannequin, just to clarify. But yeah, it does go to show that different things creep out different people.
So is this chair, the rocking chair, is that still possessed, or it's fine now? You can just sit and rock away, or?
So when Zach purchased it back in 2019, he had it in the museum for a couple of months, and then he had to go and take it back and remove it from the museum. Apparently some people had some episodes where they were like crying uncontrollably, and they had someone who fainted and someone who had like something that happened that was really weird after they saw the chair. So I'm not entirely sure if it's still, look, again, that does come down to opinion. And I'm kind of a firm believer as well that if you do believe in these things, if you believe in heaven and hell and the devil and demonic possession and all those things, that you are a lot more susceptible to, feeling these things or having these things happen to you as well. So I definitely think that, for some people who walk into that room, like myself, I guess, and you can feel that there is something heavy about that room or heavy about the presence of that chair.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. I would agree that if you're a strong believer and you have faith, that without a shadow of doubt, you would feel it more intensely than somebody probably that didn't have faith. Yeah. I mean, once again, it's each to their own, and we're all different. And one person is going to interpret it differently to another person, and so forth and so on. So yeah, it depends. Have
you ever had an occurrence in which you've seen something or walked into a room or anything like that, and something sort of just...
Look, I've had many occurrences in my life, usually after copious amounts of alcohol.
That's not the same thing.
It's completely the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Well, it is. Things start to move. I start to move. I end up fainting. Yeah. I get dizzy. Things
start
happen
hallucinating,
to me.
Yeah.
Things happen to me that I can't explain.
Yeah, like me last time, and I was like, how did I get all this grass in my bathroom?
And memory loss.
Yeah.
So that does happen to me. But look, without alcohol, yeah, I've had a couple of interesting experiences that I'll go into further along in the next couple of podcasts. That definitely, for me, give me the belief that there's a little bit more to all these phenomena that we actually give credit to, and that really there's stuff out there that happens that we can't explain, and that's fine. I mean, you can't explain everything,
Yeah, that's called dating on Tinder.
I don't know about that, Sarah. You're just like... That's random. And you probably have more experience.
Well,
than
if
that.
you ever want to get ghosted.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I didn't actually know what that was until a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do you
It's
mean
kind of
a
new
couple
term.
of weeks ago?
It was a new term. I'm old, so it was a very new term.
I
to
know that
me.
you're over 100, but like,
I am. and this podcast, I feel even older. So,
oh, so does that mean that you want to try getting ghosted then?
let's say I'm currently. Actually, let's say I don't care at this stage. It doesn't matter to.
You're open to all
Yeah,
dark and strange
it's-
experiences,
Yeah,
Paul.
absolutely. So with this rocking chair now, I mean, is it still possessed or
No.
it's fine?
Oh, well,
it's
again,
okay now.
that comes down to your opinion.
It's not getting dizzy spells or it's not fainting or anything.
I don't
like
think
that?
they've ever had anything substantial happen recently.
Oh, okay.
But in general, people who go to the Zach Baggins Museum have different experiences because that's not the only kind of haunted thing that he has. There are, I guess, maybe in further podcasts, I might talk about some of the other quite famous artifacts he's got there that people have actually died around.
Inside the museum?
Yeah, inside the
They
museum.
actually died in the museum.
They have had someone who's died in the museum.
From the artifacts or just like.
Well, that comes down to your opinion, doesn't it?
Okay. And probably
I mean, it's
the
not like the
doctor-
artifact fell on them.
Probably
but
the doctor that attended as well probably had something to say with it. Yeah. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
hey, any publicity is good publicity, right?
Yes, absolutely. For sure. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Like they actually had a piece of James Dean's car.
Oh, wow. That's,
You know,
that's
the-
amazing. Yeah.
The little, what is it? Little bastard? Is that what it's called? I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, not sure.
Yeah. And do you know how many people that car killed?
A couple, I guess.
Yeah. It was giving Christine a run for her money.
Oh, okay. That's most interesting.
Gold star if you get my Stephen King reference there that I just slotted in.
That went totally over my head. But yeah. Oh, I've mentioned Stephen King. Derry, the new Derry's just started
Yeah,
on Netflix.
Welcome to Derry.
Yeah, have you watched it yet?
No, because
No,
it
neither
came
have I.
out on Monday and I've been working and
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah,
tired.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
yeah,
I
I
get
know.
what you're
It's on my
saying.
to-do list. Probably tonight, actually. Yeah.
It is a tough life, Tara. I have to admit.
Have you watched it?
No, not currently. I too have been working and I've been tired and I've had a lot to do.
It's a really hard life.
It's an extremely
You
hard
know,
life.
yeah, not having small children and, you know, a busy life.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about now. You've totally gone off the track.
I know.
This is,
I know.
I'm just going to rein you back on.
Yeah, rein me back
Come
in.
back to the podcast, Tara.
You'll just have to do that from
Come
now
back
and then.
to
I just go on.
Don't go
my
to the
own
other
tangent.
side, Tara. Just come back to the light.
I'm going on my
Look
own
at the light.
adventure.
Look at the light.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was an interesting spin today on what we had to talk about, the Devil's Rocking Chair. Pertinent to us because very much the point of where we actually got to know each other and had similar interests in the strange and the dark. So from that perspective, yeah, it means a lot. And as I said, moving forward for the next couple of podcasts, we'll be talking about some more strange and some dark things. And look, guys, if you have anything that you'd like us to talk about or leave any comments, please do. And we will certainly, once we get round to it, because we've got such a busy lifestyle, we'll have a look and we'll take everything on board. And as we progress further in the next couple of weeks and months, we're hoping to get some guests on that have, let's say, interacted with some dark and strange stuff and people that are experts in these fields. And for us, we're looking forward to that aspect of getting to know these people and sharing their experiences, not just with us, but with you as well, the listeners. So from that perspective, I think that kind of brings us to the end of our very first podcast. Yay. Or nay. I don't know. Tara?
Yeah, look, totally expect that I'm going to get so ripped on, and that's okay because I'm really comfortable in the person that I am and the weird things that I like. So bring it. Let's go. And yeah, I agree with Paul. And if you want to hear anything in particular, or, you know, you've traveled, heard some stories, some folk tales, share it with us, because we're more than happy to look into it ourselves and broaden our horizons. So this is our little campfire. Please come back. That would be nice.
Awesome. Well, we'll certainly be back. And thank you to everyone for listening. It is most appreciated. And we look forward to your continued listening in the future. Other than that, it's a bye from me.
Till next time.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.